but it's, we want to start with like Brad, but there's no stand. Commissioner Jordan, privilege of giving us identification.
Let us pray. Father, we come this morning just thanking the Lord for blessing us to see another day and allow us to come out and conduct the business of the county. Lord, we thank you for every blessing that you bestow upon us. We ask your continued blessing upon our nation, Lord, our state, and our counties. We give you the glory and praise for every blessing that we receive. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's nice to see you here. It seems like it's up close and personal, a little bit more than it is in the courtroom, but we are happy to have this facility to use, and we thank the extension for letting us use it today. If you look at our order of business, the first item is the approval of the minutes for July 1st, 2015, and July 20th of 2015. Do I hear any corrections in the minutes as presented?
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented with the noted modification previously to the
A motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. The minutes are approved as corrected. Now, next item on the agenda, of course, is the adjustment, gender adjustments. Are there any? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the gender?
Second.
Motion's been made second. All those in favor? All opposed? The agenda is approved as presented. Okay, first item of business is delegations. We have none, okay, for citizens' comments. Do we have anyone signed up? No. Okay, moving right along. And we have no night's delegations. So we'll move on to administrative reports. We will hear those from, we'll start with our county manager.
These reports for June 20th through July 24th. There's no update on the historic courthouse since the July 20th Board of Commissioners meeting. On June the 24th, Gates County CDBG grant was monitored. At this time, the only documentation I'm aware of that's needed to officially close out the grant is the final county fiscal year 15 audit. A copy will be submitted to the Department of Commerce when it is approved. Stormy Butts and I met to discuss the denial of the Gates County Rescue Squad participation in the NCACC Medicaid reimbursement program. Chief Butts made a presentation at the July 20th Commissioners meeting with recommendations on how to make the Rescue Squad eligible, which the Commissioners approved. Since that time, I have applied for the necessary NPI number and received that. The information has been shared with Chief Butts and with Sandy Pittman. On June the 23rd, I attended the Albemarle Regional Solid Waste Management Authority and the PCG landfill meetings. Everyone in the county is encouraged to recycle. Effective this year, there most likely will be an increase in the electronic recycling line item. New state laws have increased the number of companies that are taking these items, which then results in higher transportation fees, which are passed on to the counties. On June the 25th, Commissioner Hopper, Jordan, Clerk to the Board Melissa Lawrence, and I attended the Gates House ribbon cutting. Other Gates County employees were also in attendance. Gates House plans on opening when they have 20 private pay residents. We have not received an update since the beginning of July when I believe they had 13 private pay residents. On July the 9th, Dr. Barry Williams, Rue Blanchard, Sheriff Ed Webb, Sandy Pittman, and I met to discuss the school resource officer funding for the school year 15-16 The state provided $28,000 for a position. The rest of the cost for the 2 SROs is being provided by the county. On July 22nd, the Regional Technical Coordinating Committee and the Transportation Advisory Committee both met at COA. The Gates County Comprehensive Transportation Plan was endorsed and is being sent to the State Department of Transportation for final approval. The Connect NC Bond Initiative was discussed with many present being in favor, even if there are only 2 projects that are identified within Division 1 to be funded. Projects to be considered for spot funding were discussed, and an update on the Bond Bridge and the ferries were also provided. July 24th, Chair Hoffler, Commissioner Jordan, Belton, Freeman, Clerk to the Board Melissa Lawrence, and other Gate County employees and I attended a tour of the solar farm being built on High Lane by O2 EMC. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
Just have one, on the rescue squad. The last meeting we talked about the EMAC committee, who was on that, and we made any progress in finding out.
That committee has not met in quite a long time because as it's outlined, it does talk about it's for, I'm just going blank, I apologize. But it's for people who want to come in and provide transportation services. There has not been any applications that they have met in several years, but the last commissioner appointed was you. So we did find that, so that shows that there has not been a meeting in several years. But that is the main purpose of them, to look over applications for anyone who wants to come in and provide transportation services.
Thank you for that.
Okay, because Melissa said, I found the list and it's Commissioner Jordan and you. She said, even though we've not officially appointed you, I said, okay.
I have one thing I'd like to bring up too, on the DOT meeting you had at COA.
Yes.
Did they discuss the paving of the Sawyer Road?
No, this was not a discussion about paving of specific roads and counties. This was the regional transportation. And they did give us a complete list of every project within Division 1 that's in the 10 counties covered by the Albemarle Commission's RPO. That's probably on that list somewhere, but I did not bring that with me because there were quite a few projects and many of them were not in Gates County.
The reason I brought it up, I did attend with Commissioner Owens that meeting in Manio, and that thing was discussed there, so I didn't know what it was.
Right. They said anything when we talked about putting new roads or new projects on the next edition of SPOT, which is the State Transportation Plan, they said whatever was already on the list was going to be included on that plan. And then if there were any new roads or projects that needed to be added, they would be added to that list.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any additional questions for County Manager? Okay, moving on to our next, the finance, Ms. Pitney is here. As you look over her report, are there any questions that you might have for her?
Could you tell us when we're going to know whether or not we have a positive or a negative in our final in the year fund balance?
It'll be probably in September. We don't get our final revenue payment until the middle of September. We get our final sales tax from the state in the middle of September. The auditors will be here at that time the following week, and they'll begin their process. We still have numerous transfers to make, and until we close out, I really just don't know. I won't have any idea. The reports that you see there as of June 30th for anything that we handled in June. But as you know, we continue to post the last fiscal year up through the middle of September, so those are not final numbers at this point.
I know I asked the question, like, I saw you with some old ones, but yet you had not got reimbursements from all of the state or federal or some of those programs, and they were coming. Thank you. Tax. Mrs. Lane. Morning, how are you?
Chance to peruse through the record report there. Any questions or comments? July. Notice I just interject, I did send some emails to Ellis Law, try to get some response on where we are on those 3 accounts. To date, no response back from out of Mr. Ellis or his paralegal, Prince Stilly, who was facilitating that work, so I just mentioned that.
And that balance will come.
Without any legal fees, those 3 accounts that we currently have as to date, $3,274.59. And that's with interest. Now, that's without legal fees, of course, and advertising fees. We were at the stage with those 3 accounts of advertising by publication with those 3, but again, no response back from Travis or his paralegal, as of this morning, so.
And I did see that you have given us a list of those that you turned over to Zacchaeus as of 15th August.
Well, they are presented to the, pending a motion by the board, yes, ma'am. They are at that stage where we have exhausted within the tax office all those items by letter, demand letters from our office, follow-ups that were done. So they are at the point that they have a motion at some point that the board would entertain a motion to send those to Zacchaeus.
Any questions about the tax report itself? Any additional questions? Okay, then I guess we need for the refund.
Yes, ma'am. Just one refund is related to the DOD, with those tags, and you have that corresponding information that's associated with that refund for approval. That was the only one that we didn't have.
I did have a question. How did you determine the amount of tax refund?
Yes, ma'am. It's based on value and the length of time if a person were to utilize the tags for a certain number of months and the tags were issued. If you only use a portion of those months, then that is calculated per month at a rate. And so that's how the overall refund. And any value that is associated with that particular either vehicle or utility trailer or things of that nature, that's how it's determined.
And this was an RV, was it not?
It's actually a camper. It was a camper. The tags were traded in, and we put that on a additional camper that the taxpayer wanted to trade tags. So the amount of $112.92.
Okay, you see before you the request for a refund to the taxpayer of $112.92. Are there any questions, or is someone willing to make a motion?
I'll make that motion, Madam Chairman, for that refund on that.
A motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the refund of $112.92, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. So that refund is okay. Going on to the next item of business, we have in our packet accounts to Zacchaeus Legal Firm for additional people, and I don't know how many they are.
There are 45 total delinquent.
But of course, there's 12 of the same person.
Yes, ma'am. It's still considered.
I know what it
Yes,
is.
ma'am. Yes.
Okay. What is the pleasure of the board? Are there any questions?
Well, these just individual, obviously they're all individual parcels. Mostly land right there.
It is some, a portion of those, not quite half of it, particularly, you'll notice maybe perhaps a familiar name there, with some vacant lots that, no improved sites, just vacant lots. And we deem them as a separate suit. They are in fact, despite having the same tax number, they're considered a separate suit account that they're sent.
They are the names that we're familiar with.
Yes, okay.
And of course, some are more than 1 year behind.
I guess we can list the rest.
Here's one that's 7 years, 6 years.
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion that we authorize these listed names to be turned over to Zacchaeus Legal Services for
Okay, I've had a motion made, is there a second? Second, a motion's been made that we turn over the list of taxpayers' names to Zacchaeus Legal Services that the tax administrator has recommended. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, and Ms. Lane, we'll turn those over to Zacchaeus. Okay, anything else?
There was the issue, you probably received Mr. Gary Piner's biography and the resume that was submitted. We do have an issue of the RFPs that were submitted for the rebound. Any additional comments? I also submitted Mr. Piner's proof of liability insurance, just for the fact that he would be doing the majority of the field work within our vehicles.
I believe that is later on in our,
Okay.
on our agenda.
No, sir, that's on item 7, the first item under old business.
Oh, yeah, so we'll do it then.
Okay, and just wanted to echo that we, as of this Monday, we're taking back taxpayers. Want to thank Diane Customer Service for all those years that they had absorbed that role. Really appreciate customer service and that role that they did for the months.
How's that going now? Got to save?
Yes, sir. We got a safe acquired, and it's going pretty well. Monday was a busy day. In fact, over $5,000 with that. We saw some cases that we were seeing prior visits, so going well. So, yes, sir.
Just a question for information. Do you all make the deposits or do you give it to Sandy?
We coordinate the customer service and groups. That way, one person is identified as to having various pickups. There's one central pickup, and I think it's very logical, one person. So we're sending secure bag, and at which point Diane is making a run, she makes that coordination, or if we have to absorb that role, the tax office is prepared to do that as well. So, yeah. But I just wanted to say thank you for customer service and everybody for your help.
So hopefully we'll work together and for the betterment of the county at all times.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Okay, moving through this agenda. I shouldn't have said anything. Okay, additional department reports you have in your packet. We have numbers of our department heads here. Or that's any one that you'd like to have questions concerning? I see the crystals here. EIC building report, have we got the mold problem corrected?
That job is completed as of the exterior and the interior. Now we're in the process of getting the people back out to do the testing.
Okay, great. That's a wonderful step in the right direction. Thank you.
I would ask that under the planning and zoning, the county manager can respond to this. Is it possible that going forward we can have the minutes, approved minutes of the planning and zoning board posted on the website?
Yes, that is in the process. We have discussed that.
All right. If that would be a great help.
Okay, and Jennifer is not here today because she is in a floodplain training in the southeastern part of the state. But we have discussed that.
Okay, additional questions for any of the departments?
The departments, in the, for the transportation, we do have a meeting, Patrice has scheduled a meeting for next month, and we'll be ready for the rest of the board, so. And I see she's not here, so I started bringing it up, so we had that.
Also, the water department, I see Tim is here. On page 106, it says, need to find and repair where groundwater's coming into the systems. I noticed that we had made some progress on that. Where are we now?
We actually got another crew in, found it with the camera, had the specific location identified. The contractor that made the tap for the assisted living facility, I've got them to stand behind their work. They've got the proper materials ordered, and it should be scheduled to be repaired within the next week or two.
So it was like that, the assisted living?
It was. We couldn't see it with the original camera. The guy would not push his camera out of the tap into the main to be able to see it. And from feeding from other directions, we couldn't reach that point. So this guy managed to get his camera out of the credit union's tap and make it turn and push it down to visually inspect the tap for the assisted living facility from the pipe side or from inside the pipe. And the band looks like it's not sealed. It's got water constantly coming in. We've been fairly fortunate, besides the little rain spell we had in June, it's been dry. So we haven't seen too much effects on the lagoon in the last month or so. But before we get to the next rainy season, and before the assisted living facility comes online, that needs to be repaired.
And you have it, the people set up to come out
Yes, ma'am.
to be repaired?
No cost to the county as well, might add.
Well, that's music to our ears. Thank you.
Did you see any problems? I saw, noticed there was 7.7 inches in your report for rainfall. Is that pretty?
It hurt us, but the only thing that helped us with that, and most of those rainfalls were torrential downpours, so it was a lot of runoff. So a lot of that didn't make it into the groundwater to infiltrate the collection system. We just saw that reflection in the pond, not the pond as well as groundwater infiltration.
Well, thank you. Moving on, I noted on page, we have for your information, the Chonoke Indian History Fest session is going to be September 19th at Merchants Mill Pond. Marvin Jones will be the presenter, and they will have a program then, so we need to, I'm sure that will be publicized, but it is on a Saturday from 10 to 12. And also for your information, comprehensive transportation plan was approved, and they sent a staff copy saying that that was. And finally, we have to cover all items of business. The Board of Commissioners from Harnett County, they are asking for support of Senate Bills 369. And if you are following the legislature, that of course is where you have a redistribution of sales tax across the counties, 100 counties, and they have sent a resolution for that bill in support of that bill. Have we done something with that?
No, ma'am. They sent that across the listserv so that people would be aware that they are in support of this bill.
If you notice that Gates County would be benefit, I think it would be maybe $1 million a year if it was redistributed from the state. Of course, Dare is one of the counties that's fighting not to do it. I saw it that Commissioner Bob Woodard went to Raleigh because they didn't want to lose. You know, they would be a loser. I believe Parkland County gains $1 the city of Hosky loses some of their sales tax. But for the most part, I think it's of the 100 counties, 85 would get a benefit. Some of the municipalities would lose.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, 83.
83. Some municipalities would lose, but some of the counties that the municipalities are in would gain so much, they could help offset that.
I think I was after over 2 million, I believe.
Really? I was just quoting from the article I read in the pilot.
Sandy, that would, $2 million would really help Gates County. I guess it would almost lower some of our taxes.
I'm not convinced that 2 million is a good number or even a million, but, they're all projections.
But anything,
So, yeah, absolutely, any redistribution, because we don't have the businesses here. So the counties that don't have businesses would obviously benefit in those locations that do.
and there really is two North Carolinas, the rural North Carolina and the urban North Carolina. The Raleigh area, the Charlotte area, the Greensboro area, and the coast with tourism, and the mountains are in Asheville, but the rest of us are struggling.
We've got a month of $10 million budget.
Just under 11
Yeah, so we're talking about giving to us $2 million, we're talking about close to 20%, 18, that's pretty good.
I think the meeting, the response to this bill, will have a meeting, I believe, is the 12th next week, and we're asking the people to attend to show support.
I believe that came across in an email that I received. That would the board like to take actions like this in a resolution in support of the bill or not?
I would certainly make a motion for the board to submit a resolution in support of the bill and approve the check line to sign it. It needs to go in right away.
I'll say that.
Okay, and would you want to send it to the governor and legislative representatives in the House and Senate and the leadership team as well?
May I recommend that you follow the resolution for Harnett County and where they talk about how much money Harnett County lost, if we're able to find that, submit that.
Certainly to reflect Gates County's numbers.
Right, and I think Harnett County says, county commissioners estimates. So that 12 million or whatever we come up is not hard, it's still a good ballpark.
And I believe I have that article,
I have several.
and there's been some projections on in different sites, like the pluses or the gains that we have. A motion is on the floor, this has been properly seconded. Is there any other questions? Okay, the motion before us is that we authorize the resolution to be sent in support of Senate Bill 369 to the governor and the leadership team in the General Assembly and our current representatives as well, signed by the chair. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed. And another item of interest, the Skills Incorporated, which is a nonprofit community rehabilitation program. It has 42 clients, and if you noticed in there were, I believe, 4 individuals from Gates County who participate in that program. And certainly, certainly a population that needs assistance after they get out of school. This provides them, with the exceptional program, this provides them employment opportunities and helps them to live a more independent life in a shelter workshop. They're doing great work. They've been very good. They get high ratings for their work skills. So that's just for information only, I guess.
placement?
I believe the placement is done by the, Skills Incorporated, because they're the ones who send out, people to follow them on their job site, or to go to the job sites.
I guess my question was, for the county, is it open to our social services?
It's open, from what I understand, conversations with Theo on other programs, it's referrals from anyone to them. They get a lot of referrals, I believe, from the school. The Northeastern Workforce Development Board was tried to do some partnering with them as well. I believe they get some from River City Development and Elizabeth City.
That we certainly need to make sure our schools know that they, because like I say, 7 students after the age of 21 have to exit the school system. And so this gives them some kind of structure and from all, we just need to be aware of the benefits of the program and support their efforts and make sure that people know in our county that is available to some. If you look on the back page, this is vocational and rehabilitation services, the Skills Incorporated, and it gives you some contact people. They provide a job match according to the skill level of the person, and a coach. They do follow up. Okay, so looking at the calendar for August coming up, of course, we have on Tuesday the 18th, the Board of Adjustments and Planning. Later on this month, there is the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners are meeting in Greenville. So, I'm going to attend by day. I'm not going to spend the night. Does anyone need a break? Stretch?
Sheriff, something like that.
Okay, we'll take 5 minutes stretch. We are going to enter into public hearings tonight. The first one is the Regional Hazard Migration Plan. If you look in your packet, it has been properly advertised for the public hearing. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we go into public hearing for the regional hazard mitigation plan.
Okay, a motion has been made. Second? Okay, a motion has been made. Second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Okay, we have any public comments. Yes, Billy can explain this. It was a 506-page report there.
I trust that you take that. I trust that you got the file that we sent you with the 508 pages of hazard
Oh, it's 8. I lost 506.
And I trust that you read and memorized all of that. What this is, every 5 years, FEMA requires that we have a signed, approved hazard mitigation plan. Mitigating a hazard means raising a house from a flood zone. It could be buying a house out that's in a repetitive loss flood zone. It could be you having a community notification system like our Code Red. There's a lot of different mitigation strategies to help the hazards that we are applicable to in Gates County. Some of the hazards that don't matter to us are volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, things like that. But all of those hazards have to be identified in a plan. 10 years ago, our plan was done in the county. It was contracted, and it cost $30,000. 5 years ago, we updated the plan, we did it in-house, and it just cost our time and materials. It didn't cost us anything. Well, each county and municipality has to have a plan that is adopted by FEMA. So that we have to write the plan, it has to be approved by you, it has to go to Raleigh, Raleigh has to approve it, then it has to go to FEMA. So in an effort to streamline that process, FEMA and the state have tried to regionalize these hazard mitigation plans, because the hazards that are applicable to Gates County are the same hazards that are applicable to Hertford, Shelmont, Clemens, and the region. So we took that list of hazards that the federal government said we had to identify, and we did it in a regional basis. 17.28 in the 508 pages is Gates County specific hazard mitigation strategies. It's very similar to what it was in the past. This regional process was a granted thing, so it didn't cost Gates County anything. It didn't cost the other counties, and it was 8 counties and 23 municipalities that were included. So what that does, in essence, is all those plans basically said the same thing. They pushed them into one regional plan, so now Raleigh reads one plan instead of 8 or 23, and then FEMA only has to read one plan instead of 8 or 23. So we have this today, and then we go tonight to the town of Gatesville to have their resolution signed for the town of Gatesville to adopt it as well. And the grant for the Albemarle Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan was $80,000. So it was quite a cost savings, and it's crazy to say $80,000 is a cost savings. But if it cost each individual county $30,000 to $50,000, $80,000 for 8 counties was somewhat of a bargain. As I said, it is on a 5-year cycle, and we did use the Wooten Company as our contractor. We did have some issues with the Wooten Company. They have stood by their product, and the issues that we had, they are correcting. And most of the issues, I say we, I mean the region, most of the issues were with Dare and Currituck, where they have flood inundation hazards as well. Be glad to entertain any questions you have.
Ed, is that ST Wood, or do you know?
I do not know, it's just called the Wooten Company, I'm not sure.
It's the same company that handled the CDBG grant.
You obviously have 508 pages and you endorse.
Yes, sir, I do.
Very good, glad you said that. I went through it on the internet,
Right.
you sit through it there. But are there any collaboration agreements in that plan that Gates County has made with other counties that we as a board need to be aware of?
There's no collaboration for hazard mitigation. We do have mutual aid agreements with all of those counties. Actually, the 13 northeast counties have a consortium where we have agreed to assist with response, but not mitigation. So there's nothing in this that ties us together.
So we would provide personnel, but not necessarily equipment and supplies.
Correct. Correct.
Is there a limit? I mean, obviously, we can't do any more than we have, but I mean,
There's not a limit written in there, but we do have right of refusal on any request that we have. For instance, if we are the housing unit for the companion animal mobile equipment trailer, the CAMET trailer. We got dog cages that we use those cages for our animal emergency shelter, for the evacuation shelter for animals. So if one of those 13 counties requested, or the 12 counties requested that item, and we were already using it, we have a right to refuse, and we don't have to provide that. Same would be if they require fire trucks, and we feel like our fire threat is too big to release those trucks, then we have that right to refuse.
Any additional questions? Here that it has been endorsed by our emergency management director. Do I hear, I'll entertain a motion to approve for this resolution. Oh, yes, that come out of closed session. Public hearing. Okay, do I have a motion to come out of public hearing?
So,
Okay, a motion's been made and second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, well, thank you. Well, out of public hearing, I will entertain a motion concerning the adoption of the Albemarle Hazard Mitigation Plan. Mitigation. I can't even read numbers.
So
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor of the resolution adopting the Albemarle Regional Hazard Migration Plan, Mitigation Plan update, all those say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we need to also have a motion to go back into public hearing for rezoning of the Odom property. So, a motion's been made, so it's second.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor of going into public hearing concerning the Odom parcel of land, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. Public comments.
Okay, as I indicated earlier, we got these out at a training today. You have in your packet the rezoning information as well as applications and several maps and deed and photographs of the surrounding area. The property is developed with a single-story residential dwelling. It was built in the 1950s according to the property record card. Area around it is either agricultural or R1. The regulations of the R1 residential zoning district are designed to be low-density residential areas and additional open spaces or similar residential development will be a viable land use. According to the chart of permitted uses, which can be found in the Gates County ordinance, residential mobile homes are not allowed in the R1 zoning district. The RMH1 residential mobile home zoning district is designed to be low-density residential areas and additional open areas where similar residential development will be a viable land use. This district is further designed to allow mobile homes and manufactured homes on individual lots. Manufactured homes located in the RMH1 zoning district are subject to the following regulations. The manufactured home class A, you have to have a HUD label for permanent setup. And it does have to meet exterior appearance requirements, skirting requirements, and on landing. There are other manufactured homes in the area along Willington Road, and manufactured homes are located to the east and west of the property. During the July 21st, 2015 Planning Board meeting, the board decided to deny the rezoning request that was submitted by the Odom family. Since that time, there has been a request for some additional information and clarification on spot zoning that Ms. Baptiste asked that I share with you. And this was sent to a planning board member who asked the question. Her response is, spot zoning is a term that is easily said but difficult to define. North Carolina, unlike some states, has not specifically outlawed spot zoning, nor has it directed municipalities to establish criteria to define what spot zoning would be. In states such as Florida, for example, municipalities have to establish specific criteria for applicants to go from one zoning district to another. For example, in order to go from a low-density residential zoning district to a commercial district, the property would have to be a specific size, maybe have access to either public water and/or sewer, and there would have to be equal distribution over the area to justify the rezoning. However, North Carolina does not require this, and the county's ordinance does not provide for this. Spot zoning is also characterized by treating one property differently from another. In the Odom's case, the use is residential going to residential in an already existing residential area. This would not be a direct conflict to the surrounding area. Excuse me. In addition, North Carolina, and since it is not specifically identified in our ordinance, going from one residential zoning district to another residential district is not illegal. All of our residential zoning districts are exactly the same except for what type of homes are allowed in that particular district. The lot size and setbacks are the same across the board. She then makes reference to a book by David Owens, which is the Introduction to Zoning and Development Regulations that was updated in 2013. There are four main items to look at when deciding spot zoning. The size and nature of the tract. The larger the area of spot zoning, the more likely it is to be reasonable. Singling out an individual lot for special zoning treatment is more suspect than creating a zoning district that involves multiple parcels and owners. Special site characteristics such as topography, availability of utilities, or access to rail or highways can be important in this analysis. Ms. Baptiste says, this relates to the size and ratio of similarly zoned properties in the area. In this case, the amount of residential zone properties in the area. If you look at the attached map, and I believe there was also another one that you have that is in your packet, you will see where other RMH districts are in the area. Second item outlined in the book is compatibility with existing plans. If a clear public policy rationale for the different zoning treatment is set out in local government's adopted plans, that evidence is a public purpose for the zoning. By contrast, a zoning action that is inconsistent with the plan may indicate special treatment that is contrary to the public interest and thus be unreasonable. Her response was the county's last land use plan was done in 2005. According to that plan, the area should be used as rural residential development. So going to an RMH zoning district would be consistent with the plan. The third criteria is the impact of the zoning decision on the landowner, the immediate neighbors, and the surrounding community. An action that is of great benefit to the owner and only a mild inconvenience for the neighbors may be reasonable, while a zoning decision that significantly harms the neighbors while only modestly benefiting the owners would be unreasonable. The area is already residential and would not cause a conflict with the surrounding area. In addition, this area has a great deal of mobile homes currently in the area and would not be out of character. And the fourth criteria says the relationship between the newly allowed uses in the spot rezoning and the previously allowed uses. The degree of difference in the existing surrounding land uses and the proposed new use is also important. The greater the difference in allowed uses, the more likely the rezoning will be unreasonable. For example, the previously zoned area for residential use, allowing slightly higher residential density may be reasonable, while allowing industrial uses would be unreasonable. And her final response to that is, the only difference between the R1 and the RMH district is that manufactured homes are allowed by right in RMH. The property adjacent to Mrs. Odom is zoned A1 and would allow manufactured homes by special use permit, so additional manufactured homes would be able to go into the area. She also asked that I remind everyone that the size, if as the request is for RMH, the size of the trailer does not matter as long as they still have to meet the new setbacks that are established as of today.
I believe you have a sketch of that in the package.
Yes.
Okay, that was the comments from Mrs. Baptiste.
Yes, that was everything from her.
Okay, do we have any other comments, health comments? Yes.
Good morning. This is the first time I can actually say I'm Jonathan Jones from the Hall Township. I've been to the property in the area. There's manufactured homes all around the area, and it would conform to the area if it's allowed. The only area that is not a manufactured home is Abundant Hope Church, which is diagonally across from Miss Odom's property. John Rissmiller is in Peru right now on a mission trip. He could not be here today. He sent me an email after I talked to him. Okay. I'll let you read it, but basically the church has no issues with the property being changed. You're not changing, Ms. Odom's not asking to put a 5,000 square foot house to have to clean it at air. She's asking to put a manufactured home so she has somewhere decent to stay. I've seen the house. It needs some help, and if her family's willing to do that for us, so she has a safe place to stay, I'm 100% behind it. I do believe that the information that Ms. Baptiste sent to me I will let the record show that I was the one that requested that information that Natalie just read. Because I found out some information after the July meeting from the book. I did not have the book. Chuck and Wade had not got their turners in yet. So I got a book from another resource and found out those 4 sources. And those 4 sources say it's not spot zoning. So after reading that, who is from a neighbor, and hearing what Ms. Baptiste has said on public record, I see no reason why I could not approve Ms. Owen's request today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, Mr. Green.
Also, I went and looked at this property too, and when looking at it, I saw where there's as many double wide, single wide as the residential particular home. I think maybe with the planning board did, if they read the rules, they probably made the right decision according to that. I really feel like maybe the planning board should have sent a recommendation to Board of Commissioners for that place to be rezoned, or go in front of the Board of Commissioners, I mean, the Board of Adjustment for a special use permit. I think the double wide does blend into that. It does not create anything other than harmony in that area. So I would hope that y'all would grant Ms. Owen's request.
Additional comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to come out of closed session?
Madam Chairman, before we did this letter that we had forwarded to us the last couple of days, gave the reason that the planning board denied the request, and they said Ms. Hall made a motion to deny the rezoning because it would be considered a spot zone. And the motion was carried unanimously. In this, from the Civil Government, all these things that Adam and Green Law go through, it defines spot zoning. And as a zoning ordinance on members of single item reclassified as relatively small tract, owned by a single person and surrounded by a much larger area, uniform in zone, so as to impose upon the small tract greater restrictions than those imposed upon the larger area, or so that to relieve the small tract from restrictions to which the rest of the area is subjected. Is called spot zoning. So, by that definition from the School of Government, I think the planning board made a very valid decision on what they found on this would be spot zoning in the way that I read this, and whether you want to approve spot zoning or not, that's up to you. I think the question of it being what it is or not, it is according to the definition.
Okay. Any other public comments? Okay, do I have a motion to come out of public hearing?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded to come out of public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Okay, before us today is the case of Mrs. Owen and her parcel. I think all of us have tried to do due diligence. I went back into my planning board booklet and looked at some of, there have been a number of court cases, and the courts generally have ruled, I mean, it's been mixed. You know, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It's no clear case. But as Ms. Baptiste said, the size of the lot, the compatibility with the plan, benefits and deterrents, and the relationship of use. The size of the lot is immaterial in this case because it's grandfathered in, because it was a deed on prior recorded before we had zoning. So, you know, that is taken off the table, in my estimation. The second, compatibility with plan, as several of you have spoken on, if you drive through there, and on this map that you see here, most of the land is A1. Now, in A1, you can have a mobile home. The blue area is R1. That you have to have a stick-built or a modular. And, but a lot of these are lots of prior record, and they have mobile homes on currently. So that's what's like to a great extent. Benefits and deterrents. The harm by rezoning and the magnitude of the consequences. Okay. Let's take a look. Benefits and deterrents. The benefits, the home that you currently live in, I understand, has been somewhat disrepair, so that you're replacing it with a more modern. Okay. The detriments to your neighbors is there, if all the rest of them are living in mobile homes, is that detrimental to them? To replace your home with a, that's a question you have to ask. I would think it probably would not be detrimental.
Right.
And the last one is the relationship of uses. The fourth factor in spot zone analysis is the relationship between the proposed uses and the current use of adjacent properties. The greater the disparity, the more likely the rezoning is to be held illegal. Well, in the current uses of adjacent property, all those basically are mobile homes. So it's not going to create a greater disparity, I don't think. So I was just looking at what the courts have ruled in North Carolina concerning that. So that are my comments.
Madam Chairman, in view of the planning board's decision that it was considered spot zoning, I don't criticize their decision. However, we do recognize that this is unique in that this area has quite a few mobile homes, and plus, if you look on Medical Center Road, with the chart provided, it's not in that chart. On Medical Center Road, we find that you do have an RNH1 classification. And if you go down through Hazeltown Road, you also have a section of RNH1. So, for this particular case, I think that we as a board, we really should consider the impact if we did go ahead and approve it. We do have some RNH1 in that area, and so, you wouldn't consider that it's something that you're doing that's not done in other areas. The dark area, I think, represents the RNH1. However, as a board member and with respect to the fact that what the planning board has done, I think that we could go ahead and approve this with the condition that the vacant lot on the left side of that property and the 3 lots on the other side, which is one is a single wide, the other is a double wide, and I believe the other one may be a double wide, I'm not sure, but just about all of those homes, about 4 or 5, we could rezone those RNH1 as well. Then you would have like an overlay, you would have a section in there that was not just that particular property. And like I said, that would certainly take out of the question that we just took one particular property and rezoned it. Also, I do want to make the board aware that we have general statutes in place, and I was thinking I had copies for everybody, but I don't. Listen, we don't have a copy here, I hear it on the tag as well, but I'll read it to you. This is the zoning ordinance that governs manufactured homes. And zoning, North Carolina General Statute 153A 341.1 is for counties, and it tells you to use provisions of General Statute 168.381, which is for basically towns and cities. So when you look at 168.383.1, it says, the General Assembly finds and declares that manufactured homes offers affordable housing opportunities for low and moderate income residents of this state who cannot otherwise afford to own their own home. The General Assembly further finds that some local governments have adopted zoning regulations which severely restrict the placement of manufactured homes. It is the intent of the General Assembly in enacting this section that cities re-examine, which we count as in our case, re-examine their land use practices to assure compliance with the applicable statutes and case law, and consider allocating more residential land area for manufactured homes based upon local housing needs. For the purpose of this section, the term manufactured home is defined as provided in General Statute 143.1457. And C says a city, which would be a county, may not adopt or enforce zoning regulations or other provisions which have the effect of excluding manufactured home from the entire zoning jurisdiction. A city may adopt and enforce appearance and dimensional criteria for manufactured homes, and which we have that in our manufactured home zoning ordinance. Such criteria shall be designed to protect property values, to preserve the character and integrity of the community or individual neighborhood within the community, and to promote the health and safety and welfare of the area residents. The criteria shall be adopted by ordinance, which we have that, and which assures that it's set up and has all of the amenities that we think it needs. And E says, in accordance with the city's comprehensive plan, which is our county land use plan, and based on local housing needs, a city may designate a manufactured home overlay district within a residential district. Such overlay district may not consist of an individual lot or scatter lots, but shall consist of a defined area within additional requirements or standards are placed upon a manufactured home. And F specific says nothing in this section shall be construed to preempt or supersede valid restrictive covenants running with the land. Meaning if you have some covenants excluded or whatever. So the general statute pretty much outlines for the counties that it is our obligation to do due diligence in trying to make sure that we are in tune with our citizens' needs with regard to manufactured homes. The county land use plan is an agreement that this is consistent. We do have some R&H1 in that area, but I believe today that we are certainly in a position to approve this, and also to ensure that we're not doing something that might look like spot zoning. I think that if we also task the planning board and our planning director to move forward in rezoning the adjacent property on the left and the two properties on the right side as well. So Madam Chairman, that would on the left side, yeah, right, on the left, or on the right, you mean? Okay, all right, right, this property here, this one, and this one, is what we're talking about, a little larger. So,
you know, as I was looking, I was going back through some of my papers, the test is reasonable. The school of government recommends at least a 10-10 formula, more than 10 acres and more than 10 owners if you're going to rezone. Because I have thought about that as a solution to the problem. We have done that on Highway 37 North at one point, and changed, but we did a street there, if you remember. Mr. Green, remember when we did north of 37 there, as you go out of Gates, we took and rezoned, and we did 10. You remember?
Yeah, I remember the numbers, but yeah, we did do that.
That would be a solution to the problem. I don't think it's probably spot zoning from the criteria that the courts have set up, but to make sure it's not, we could ask the planning board to grab some of the acreage right there to do that. Another solution would be if you not have considered modular.
May I speak?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Chairman. My name is Claude Odom. I'm the son of Odell Odom and a lifelong resident. She has been in this county for 90 years. And I've been here, well, in connection to the county. I was born and reared in Case County. My parents were Lytle and Myrtle Odom. And so we're here today just to ask you to consider a 90-year-old lady who's been here all her life, who wants to continue to live here. Because if this does not get approved, she's going to possibly relocate. And I don't think that you all want that in terms of potentially what the outcome could possibly be. So we're asking that you consider as much as possible a manufactured home. In view of her hardship, her fixed income, and the limitations all around the difference between, we've investigated some cost between a modular home versus a manufactured home. We're talking about twice as much, like from 80,000 to 40,000, or vice versa. So that's the problem. We'd love to make her come to Turk County and live with me, but she's not going to have any of that. So we're trying to make her life as pleasant, as comfortable, as pleasing, as quality as possible. And of course, you know, I pastor here in Gates County, so this is my home as well. And we appreciate over the years all of the considerations and done for the citizens of this county. We all done very well. So I just ask your consideration of that God. Just understand that we're talking about something that we do all the time, and that's use common sense. And I know the laws oftentimes forbid that from happening, and nevertheless, oftentimes we can overrule that and still use come to the plate and use some common sense. Is that question too high?
Questions?
No questions. I would like to comment about the uniqueness of it. And we just hadn't mentioned or if we did, I missed it. The number of acres is 0.5 acres.
Correct.
And I don't know if we mentioned that or not.
That is a lot of prior record before zoning, so it doesn't have to meet the whenever.
But I just want to bring that in for the record purpose and the uniqueness of the situation. So appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
and I also want to point out that, Philip, you said that would be on the right.
You're saying we're looking at it.
Okay. I'm on that. So we'll-
Turn it upside down, yeah, the best majority left.
All right. Well, this property here on the left, I would say right, so would say left, is a single line. Mobile home line, I'm looking at it, it's a single line, so, and the next one is a double line. So, in view of that, if they put a double line over there, then certainly, or single line would be the one that would be complementary of what's next to it. Also, we have our manufactured home zoning board, zoning and trailer park zoning board. So, they're specific undertaking and underskirting and all of the amenities that we require that's going to be
right to those specifics. Also, I'd like to mention that I do not know Ms. Odom, but my father delivered mail there for years and years and years, and I stuck some mail in their mailbox.
Okay, any other discussion among board members? I will entertain a motion.
Chairman, I will make a motion that we approve the rezoning request of Ms. Holden to have that property rezoned to RH1. Also, that we will task the planning board to implement the process to rezone the adjoining properties. I recommended 5, but I'm good to make that 7.
Well, this was 2007, and I just said school government recommends 10 upon 10 formula, either to 10 acres or 10 owners. And I don't know the lot sizes of the lots adjacent to it. You know, but, well, I know they would have to contact it,
Well, for the process, yeah. All right, well, we can make the first motion then that we approve the request to rezone RH1.
okay, a motion's been made to approve the request of Ms. Odom for RMH1. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Just one thing, to the Odoms, I'd just like to state that I have no problem at all with whatever y'all want to put there. Just understand that, and I'm pretty sure this motion is going to be passed, but I'm going to vote no. This came up a year ago with a very similar situation. I voted no on that one also. This, in my opinion, everything I can read, this is spot zoning, and spot zoning, though not illegal, is how the framing works. So I'm going to vote no. I just want you to understand what it is. I have no problem with y'all putting whatever you want there. That's the way my vote will be. Thank you.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded that to approve the rezoning of Mrs. Odom's property to RMH. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
No.
Motion passed. Okay, Mr. Jordan, Commissioner Jordan?
All right, my second motion will be that the adjoining properties, 10 adjoining properties, or in that section, will be rezoned to RH1. And that the planning board will put the process in place for that rezoning. And for Article 14 of the zoning ordinance.
Okay, a motion is before us that to direct the planning director and the planning board to proceed to rezone its own Willington Road adjoining properties to RMH. That's surrounding Mrs. Odom. Is that basically your motion?
Yes.
Okay, that motion is, do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Is this to go ahead and rezone it, or is it to contact the owner of the property owner to see if they're doing it?
Well, you got to go through the process to the process of rezoning.
Yeah, the process says that we'll have another public hearing. Also, the property owners will be notified that there has been a zoning request on their property, and they will have an opportunity to come just like we are today. And they we have the commissioners can initiate the request. That's really the zoning orders. Planning board or commission or individuals can initiate the zoning think those lots, RM1, where they can put a mobile home and legitimize the ones that are there. You only got one vacant, well, actually, two of those are vacant lots. One of them is very small, I don't know if they build a mobile home on that triangle. But, you know, they could legitimize that lot or allow them on that lot, and also the other two lots that are legitimized but already there. So I think it's, because let's say if something happened to those homes that are there, unless they did it in a certain length of time, you know, they'd have to go through a process to get it replaced. So,
I think that time has been removed.
yeah,
But what I'm just thinking of the expense in the county, we have, if we do it now, we've got to go back and rewrite the zoning ordinance and reproduce all the plats again, zoning plat. And rather than going through that expense again now, then 6 months from now doing it again.
Well, the plats won't change with the county plan.
No, I mean, but if we rezone it, according to the ordinance, the plan is, the plat is supposed to be redone.
Oh, yeah, the plat will be redone, but the county plan itself will not redo the
Yeah, I
plat.
know that.
Okay. Okay.
and we're gonna have to redo for this one parcel we've already rezoned anyway. So, you know, we basically could almost do it all at the same time.
And I think we all understand, that when the zoning was done, that it was incorrectly done. We should have been RMH instead of R1. And we have run into this problem before. And it's just, that was just the way it was done. And we can't go and redo that. And there's no, I mean, I think it's an opportunity for us to correct a mistake that was made or inappropriate zoning labels were put in. And so we're going to have to do the plat to indicate this one, and this will help make everything legitimate.
And fall within those general statutes of rezoning and zoning laws.
Correct.
Take out any appearance.
Okay, a motion is on the floor. It has been properly seconded by Commissioner Freeman. Any further discussion? Okay, we're voting on a motion to direct the planner and the planning board to start the process to rezone the lots or the properties around these odors on Willington Road.
Does not exceed 10.
Yeah, not to exceed 10, or wherever there's a natural break, I can get like 10. Or 10 property owners or 10 acres. I believe it's the way it's read from the school development. So is everyone clear on the motion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, the motion passes. And you'll draft Mrs. Baptiste when she returns. Okay, do I have a motion? No, let's see. That is all our public hearing. We will take a 5-minute stretch before we go into old business. Let's go ahead and, we're down to old business. And I believe our first item of old business is the reevaluation bids. Mrs. Lane, our tax administrator, we asked for some additional information, and you have furnished that.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Hunter's resume and biography, you submitted that to me, as well as, I mentioned earlier, the certificate of liability insurance for the vehicle, for his scope of work being out in the field, doing an appraisal. He's currently in Caswell County, speaking there on occasion. He's helping out with that project. We're undergoing every valve, and so he has been involved in that project, as you can see with his resume there. And currently helping Posey Wilson, the tax administrator, in Shoreline County with new construction. Initially, first, just mention my experience with Gary. I mentioned, met him while working on the officially known work reevaluation, so we did go back to 11, summer 2011, and at which time he was involved in doing the reconstruction for tax administrators. So that was my initial introduction to Mr. Hines, always professional. And that way, he's been doing the reconstruction for Gates County, I believe, for at least about 10 years now. Every year, he's maintaining that contract. So I just wanted to interject that on behalf of this contract.
Okay, last month, I believe we had the bids from the firms, and we had asked for additional information. I'd like Mr. Khan, any questions?
I just want to ask, the contract, what is our contract? How does our contract, what does it look like? And when I say that is, we have a time limit in there specifically. We have the obligations as to how much time we spend in the county, or what basically is the contract guaranteed that we'll have that full services during that period as much as needed to accomplish the task in the given time.
Absolutely, and that contract will be, once the board decides and they'll approve in whichever fashion, and official contract will be written up with time limits. We can request the board as well as tax administrator, we can request that we're doing monthly updates. Most counties do that now. We did it on the Castle County project, when I was involved in that, so we informed the tax administrator monthly where we were. So, we have a scope of work, and we know that that inquiry is complete, so when we go to send out those rebound notices, we're doing in timely fashion. So that can be specific in the wording of the contract as it's designed by Gary Conner and ABS.
And we do have a time frame that it has to be done by.
That's correct. You have some leeway on when you send out notices. You can wait till after the Christmas holidays, as
So we don't have a screwed.
well, that's right, that's right. So I've seen it done both ways. Some of them want to get out before Christmas holidays. We do that in other counties. Other counties want to wait until February or so and send those notices out. So we do have, within a window of time, general statutes and that, we always complete.
But that's on our part, but his work has to be done.
That's right. That's we got any
The delivery date has to be sufficient for the county manager, finance officer, put together a budget and determine what the new tax rates will be based on what that, what the results are. So, whatever that time that is, so that we don't get in a position where we, June 30th, or we're on the board at that time, we've got a delayed budget approval because we don't have the numbers without them to be in order to determine what we call not regular things.
If they got a rocket in December and February, that gives us plenty of time to do what we need to do. And we have our standard county contract. We can start and end dates in that, and then the scope of work and detail, all the other details.
So your recommendation is that we go, Mr. Khan.
That's correct, and Renee Dennis assisting in that role with the portion of the rebound being done in-house. And they are flexible in every aspect, whether it's the informal appeals, whether it's the data entry. The time frame and seeing the project to the end, they would be available for every aspect of that. Informal appeals are usually the last range of appeals before the property tax commission happens. So you're prepared at any level to be involved in any process. Everybody's a recommendation.
You've heard the recommendation, do I hear a motion to approve the tax administrator's recommendation to our planner and Mrs. McGinnis to do our tax rebate?
Yes, ma'am. I make a motion to hire Gary Klein as suggested.
Do I have a second? Okay, motion's been made, properly second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
What? Thank you.
Okay, Cameron Land Plan, Steering Committee, appointees. We appointed 3 at the last meeting, and we are asked, we have some applications in here. Have we received any more since this was sent out?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we had 3, we had 6 originally, we have either 7 or 9 on the committee.
The last, you voted to have 9.
9. Okay, I guess we need to go through and do these one at a time. Okay, the first applicant is Wade Askew. For
How many do we have?
3,
We need 6.
correct.
How many do we have in there?
I believe it's 5. I remember correctly.
All right. Well, Madam Chairman, I would make a motion that we appoint Ray Askew as one of the members of the plan, rewriting on Campbell Land Use Plan Committee members.
Okay, motion's been made, and do I hear a second? Second motion's been made and seconded to appoint Wade Askew to the county land plan. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Wade Askew. The second application is from John Carter. Do I hear a motion?
I move to appoint John Carter second.
Motion's been made and seconded to appoint John Carter II to the county land use plan. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Third application is for Matt Lowe. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we appoint Matt Lowe as a member of the Campbell Land Use Committee.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. I'm a little delayed on time delay. Approved, Matt Lowe. The next application is from Joe Green Jr. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded to appoint Joe Green Jr. to the county land use plan. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Now, we have another one that was received.
And if I may, it looked different because this is the electronic version of our application.
Okay, that's why I was a little confused about it. So we had 4, and we had
I didn't want to know this, well, I guess it's a young lady.
it is a young lady, I think.
That's been my view, I'm not familiar with this person.
I know some shops, I'm not sure that I don't heard of it. Her qualifications, she's going to work to Joint Community College.
I remember correctly, I saw this lady in a local business, and she asked if we had any positions available. She's wanted to become more active in the community, so she does live here, and I told her what was available. That's how one way she found out about the position. She's still playing down and thinking about it. But I do not know her. She's on my road tag.
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion that we, want Crystal Sharp to the planning committee for the county land use.
Okay, motion been made and seconded that Crystal Sharp be appointed to the county land use committee. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And I will need to direct the planner to notify they have been appointed. We have 5, and we have already appointed 3, so that's 8.
Is there any plan in place to get all the people together and tell them what is expected of them?
That would be the first meeting. And she was waiting, from what she indicated to me, she was waiting to see who was appointed, how many of them were appointed today, and then she's going to make contact with everyone so that all of that can be explained to everyone at one time.
Okay, so for the committee, I know it's better than an odd number, but
And if we can get another application, we'll bring it before the board.
I know, we double, we'll get a Brian Simon also, and if we like to own that, we of course have to submit an application.
I saw that he did not.
He was on vacation week before that, and then all of a sudden they had a surprise baby born.
That is a surprise. Okay, we have a committee and they can move forward with that. Okay, in your packet, you have a resolution in support of North Carolina Governor Pat McCord's Connect North Carolina bond proposal. Remember last month we did for the Merchants Mill Pond Wing, and this is just about for us to sign.
This is the one, and it's specifically for the portion, the Connecting Sea bond is actually more than just that. It includes transportation. This resolution specifically addresses the portion of funding for the state parks.
And we've approved that we.
Right, you said you would sign it. This is for you to review the work, make sure the wording is to your liking.
I would add that, the heading would include a little bit more than the county seal.
Well, generally it has, our letterhead on it or something, doesn't it?
And,
Doesn't.
it doesn't.
It doesn't. But it's, the seal's in color.
Right, in your packet it's not, but.
Yeah.
I think we ought to have Gates County up there somewhere, and Mr. P.O. address.
We typically also, there is a letter that usually is attached to it, a memo that states what this is for. That does have all of that, but we can update it. It may or may not be ready for signing today then.
Well, I think it's kind of important that we get it signed for some reason. The General Assembly is moving at such a snail's pace, with the budget. I would like us to get on board with our support of this, since it concerns the Merchants Mill Pond. And those of you who are out there, this bond referendum, the Merchants Mill Pond would receive $1,161,000 in upgrades to their campground facilities, where they could also have RVs in designated areas of the park. And so it would increase the number of people probably who would visit. So that's why we are in support of this. But we don't have to take any action on this.
We just need to make sure the language is to your
Does that
liking.
also include cabins? Do I remember reading that?
They are, at some point, they said
I
something.
believe it says additional tent sites as well as upgrade RV sites. I believe that was taken, I give credit to Melissa for writing this. I believe she took that directly from the email that Superintendent Joy Greenwood had sent.
And Commissioner Freeman, who I think there is a potential later for cabins.
I
But I think the initial is to,
Well, we've approved it, certainly, all we can do is sign it. I approve the language, I'll make a motion that the language that's been presented, is acceptable, for submission, of the resolution.
okay, motion's been made, do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and second that the resolution, language and wording has been approved, and, or is there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed. Okay, that completes old business, new business. We have some budget items for Ms. Pittman.
We have 4 budget amendments today, and I believe the most of them deal with things that are crossing in the fiscal year. I'm going to do these all as one item. Number 1 is to budget for an annual shelter payment that we owe to Chillicothe County that crossed fiscal years. Basically, the money didn't get spent, rolled into fund balance, and we pull it back out and make that payment. Number 2 is actually an additional $100 that we've received through the Homeland Security Grant. This is the generator transfer switch project that Billy has been working on for a few years. It was an additional $100, and they offered it to us, so this is the budget to spend that money. Number 3 is also to roll forward funding. We had budgeted a part of the comprehensive land use plan money last year, and part of it this year. We were so late in getting it approved last year that we didn't spend as much as we expected to. So this $7,700 had actually been budgeted last fiscal year, was not spent, and we'll need it to complete the project this year. And number 4 is to bring forward grant money that Billy received late in fiscal year 15, was not able to spend, and I believe we have until the end of December to spend this money. So it rolled into fund balance and we pulled it back out.
Okay, so you hear it, see before us, 4 amendments to the budget. Most of it's to kind of clear up the 2014-15 budget items. Do I hear a motion? Okay, motion been made. Second, any discussion?
Why did we not spend the $29,000 for the previous years for the animal shelter? What happened that they didn't request the money?
They requested it late last September. For some reason, the payment was not made. We did not catch it, and they did not catch it until about 2 weeks ago. I got an email. And nobody knows why or when or why the payment was not made. They didn't catch it, and we didn't catch it, so. The money was budgeted. The invoice had been received. We had some questions. There were emails back and forth, but the payment did not get made.
Okay. Motion's been made that we approve the 4 budget items, amendments. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, now we have some surplus requests, and we have an additional one that has been added this morning, and I think it's up there on your desk. These are additional items to, I guess we'll put on gov.deal.
They would all go on gov deals. A lot of them are computers that are no longer functional, they're obsolete. There's a lot of chairs from various departments that either are no longer comfortable or usable because they are broken. And we do wish to get rid of all the equipment that are listed. I do ask that I be allowed to combine them as lots as necessary in order to perhaps encourage people to bid, on some of these items.
We don't have a minimum bid on that,
On which one?
on the chair. We have a,
No, sir, because what I have been doing is whenever I go to list them, I look at what others have been doing. For example, the copier that we had listed last, that you approved at the July 20th meeting, we did not receive any bids on it. And I had put a minimum on there and a reserve, and we received 0 bids. So instead of us taking it to recycling and then having to pay that additional transportation fee, we just need to relist it and lower the starting bid.
What is the pleasure of the board? And you also see there is a dollar from the IT department for, their computers and printers. Correct. Well, so that should be included in all of these.
I only had one question about one thing, just in case there was somewhere else that might be able to use it. From extension, I made a note, the one that's, HPS, yeah, 158.
No, sir, we've already checked with, before anything comes to you, we ask all other departments. And actually, for example, I believe this lists six file cabinets, and I believe actually since this was submitted, we've had, I believe, 3 of them spoken for.
I just noticed that it worked. And
Right. But no, we do have a few other printers that we have that are in working order that we not surplus in case someone needs them.
Okay, what is the pleasure of the board?
want to do them all at once?
I think that would be more efficient use of our time. Because a lot of these are broken printers and computers. And like you say, the file cabinets is already, people are speaking for it.
Madam Chairman, I will make a motion that we authorize the county manager to publish the surplus items, the 13 surplus items on, listed on the bills, to dispose of them at whatever revenue.
And motion's been made to place these surplus items on gov.deals. Do I hear a second? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay. It looks like we're doing our call cleaning. Yeah.
This is something I did forget to ask for during my report. Dr. Williams and I spoke the other day concerning a joint meeting between the Board of Commissioners and the Board of Education. And the Board of Education has proposed meeting on Tuesday, September the 1st at 5 p.m.
That's the day for our meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
I know Mr. Jordan has Tuesday night is a,
And that is the only date that he gets sent.
Now that, Tuesday.
Yes.
I would be a deal, but I don't.
do you think that they can meet an hour earlier?
I can don't know.
Would 4 o'clock help?
Okay. He has sent some revisions. I thought this ready to come in. The date has changed. He is requesting a meeting, he did not list times, and I feel like it would probably be preferred in the afternoon based upon previous discussions with him on September the 4th,
That's a Friday.
which is a Friday. So I do not know what time that would be. Or September the 11th, and he does state that September the 4th is preferred. I know there's the possibility at least one commissioner will have a conflict with the September 4th date, correct? I do not know what time since they are Fridays.
Well, Fridays, I mean, I don't really meet late afternoon, I'm sorry. I mean, I try to do my part.
I'll try to come late in the morning.
Yeah, I think if you want to have me on Friday, it need to be in the morning.
Okay, what time would you recommend that I respond?
That is fine.
He will not be available at all that day.
Thursday, like, 5,
Why don't we say 10 o'clock? That way, because, and then I got before noon. We hope. And if he doesn't, and we could, and if that is not appropriate, we could come in on the,
And the reason I say it is because this is a discussion concerning the capital improvement budget. As Ricky had said, that he would come back once he found out additional information from the state about capital improvement funds for the schools.
I know schools start on the 24th for the students. You know,
Or do you have a date that you could recommend of either of those? And based upon the discussion, feel the other day, the sooner we meet, the better.
well, it's sooner the better. I know Tuesday night creates a hardship for Mr. Jordan with his ministerial duties. What about, I can't do it 17th or anything. How about 20, I guess, the start of school, 24th.
August.
I know it's the start of school.
I don't say, I don't think that that was a day that he was looking for based on discussions I had with him the other day.
How about the 31st? That's a Monday.
I'm gonna be busy during the day,
During the daytime, you'll be busy.
not sure about how long it's that.
Well, I might be on a Thursday night. Wednesday night, if people have church meetings. How about the 20th? August 20th?
We will not be here. That's NCATC conference.
Oh, yeah, we will be here. Okay, how about August the 13th?
That they really, the two of us will be in front of that time we recommending.
Well, that's 10 to 1. Can we do that? I mean, 4. So,
Thursday, 13th.
Thursday the 13th, how's that? Bill, is that good? No, yeah, you got a relative coming in from Europe. So,
You mentioned the 4th and the 11th, which is over Friday, and Saturday.
right.
What about 11th?
His message just says that the fourth is preferred, but you're trying to accommodate this many people.
Well, how about the 7th?
That's a holiday.
Oh, that's Labor Day.
I don't have a problem with that.
How about the 11th or the 14th? One's Friday, one's Monday.
I'm not leaving on the 14th, 7:30.
Well, I was thinking that would be, maybe we could have that just late in the afternoon. Maybe we could have it at 4.
was trying to bring in an outside speaker as well to explain different things, some of the funding options.
Well, how about the 11th or the 14th, and at, is it the 3 o'clock?
Which, okay, the 14th at 3?
Friday or Monday, right?
Right.
11th and 14th.
Okay.
Is
So,
that okay?
the 11th on the short,
14, I'll call it, oh, it's, y'all can do this later.
okay, so on the 11th, which is a Friday, what time?
I say 10 o'clock.
Okay, and on Monday, the 14th,
3 o'clock.
And I'll drag in the court last long, but
I'm not going to write anything down.
okay, so is the 4th out?
now,
Is the 4th out?
And Bill,
Okay, so the preference would be, because like I said, I got the indication from the other day, we'll do it sooner rather than later, the 4th, then the 11th, and then the 14th.
and all time we could do it, the 27th of August, that's the Thursday. That's the Thursday. Because that's not, we don't have that whole commission, that would be the 20th. The 27th, if he wants it sooner than later. But once again, try to get council later. And just emails.
so the commission date is Thursday, the 27th.
I'll just put that on the list and see what works. Because I know that quite a few of the board members do work. That's why I was guessing the first meeting was at 7, but on Friday, he did not recommend the time, so.
Well, we have some people here, there's Commissioner Owens and Commissioner Belton are still working. And, I do occasionally sub, and you have ministerial duties at various times, so.
No, that's why I thought he would recommend it at nighttime or at 5 o'clock later during the day.
Okay, any other new business? Okay, moving to citizen comments.
There's nothing, okay.
No.
There was a letter that was presented to me from a citizen who would like it read. I do not know why they did not come to read it. I know that's not something we normally do, is read citizen comments. What is the pleasure of the board, or I can share it with everyone if I can find a copy. No, I haven't had it all day. I think I got mixed up.
As long as it's not obscene or
No, it's not obscene.
derogatory to the point where the chair would cause it to be not read, or would cause it, ask the citizens not to speak in that manner. But it is, it's for information, certainly.
They are disputing some statements that were made by a commissioner during a commissioners meeting. And they're presenting their version of what they understand the law to be. But I know we do not make the habit of reading letters. I don't know how the board feels about that.
I think we probably need to get a copy of it.
Okay. We can get everyone a copy.
If, certainly we'd like comments and, But we got to think about also opening the door if everybody started bombarding us with letters too.
It is a sign of,
It is a sign of,
Well,
no,
his signature is not on it,
And is it?
but it was hand delivered from that citizen to me.
rephrase, it's not anonymous.
No, and it's not. No, it's not.
And is it an interpretation of the law too? Is that what I
It
understand?
is his understanding of a law.
Now, in public comments, we have to name the citizens, give their name, and where they're from. And you have all that.
but we just want to know what the pleasure of the board
If you
is.
want us to read it, so we've never received a letter that we were asked to read, or,
And I kind of agree with the chairman there that, we probably don't want to open the door to give the public, we read this one, and then some others come in, and we start picking and choosing. I think that type of letter needs to come to the commissioner. We can see a copy of it if they wants to see it. But if they haven't read the public comment as a citizen's comment, I don't think that is something we may want to start. That's not in our policy.
I agree with Commissioner Jordan, and also like to comment that, and maybe as far as the record is concerned, that we would take a look at it during closed session. We'll certainly read it, but it'll be during the closed session, make sure it's appropriate.
Okay, so I guess there's no public
there's
comment.
no notice on it.
Okay. Okay, commissioners' comments. We'll start at the end of the table, we'll work this way.
Well, again, I certainly appreciate all the input from our Gates County citizens, day in and day out. The contacts we make, the letters we receive too, as well as the phone calls we receive. Again, perfect example of you having us work for you is today's comments. Our decisions that are made are with your input. So we thank you for being here. We thank you for sending those comments and making those suggestions.
Thank you too for staying, all of you that did. I commend Anne Mary for the presentation put on last week, and I think it was a very good, positive presentation, and look forward to seeing it in operation. And Carol wrote a very good article about it too. It was very good. Appreciate it.
I too thank everyone for staying, being here, being involved in the county commission meeting. It's truly encouraging to see that our citizens are interested. And I want to thank the citizens for participating in the various committees and boards that we have to have in place to conduct the business of the county. We can't do this alone. It's a community effort, and I just appreciate the input and support everyone gives. Thank you.
I do want to thank you for coming, and it's always nice to see our citizens. It's nice to hear from you, whether it's at a ball game or at the grocery store, down the street, or up to the telephone call. We are all available at any time to hear from you. Those of you who serve on boards, it is a hard job, whether it is the camera land use one that we just created, planning board, board of adjustments. That takes a lot of time to do that due diligence, and we thank them for their service. And we are just glad that people will step up to take responsibility and to contribute to our community. We hope you have a nice rest of the day, and we will look forward to seeing you in September. Can you believe it? Where has the summer gone? And so, thank you for coming. We will right now entertain a motion to go into closed session, and then we'll take a break after that. So we'll entertain a motion.
I stand on this motion to go into closed session in accordance with North Carolina General Statutes 143, 318, 11, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, a motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of entering into closed session is directed by North Carolina General Statute 143-318, 11 on legal, economic, real estate, and personnel. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed. Okay, we will take a adjourn night for recess, excuse me, we will recess for, thank y'all for coming. I'll entertain a motion to come out of closed session.
So good.
Okay, motion's been made and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay. A motion, who would like to make the motion, or should I read it?
Okay, I will make a motion to direct the county manager to submit the MOU discussed in closed session to the agency that we discussed in closed session.
Okay,
As amended.
okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, motion's been made and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?